Okay, so good evening everyone. Tonight class and tonight Torah portion is called Toldot. Toldot in the meaning of biography, the offsprings of Isaac, Yitzchak, the patriot. The story of the Torah is about the two twin sons that Isaac had, Jacob and Esau, and also the story of selling the birthright, the firstborn birthright of Esau to Jacob, and also the story of Jacob getting the blessing from Isaac, his father, instead of Esau. I know traditionally they told us and we learned that it looks like Jacob stole the blessing from the Esau, and that's not the case. And the Torah is the blueprint for the universe, is not the story that we are after, is the lesson behind it. And the subject of the class is the continuation of blessing. What is blessing in our life? If you attended the past two classes, we were talking about blessings. What is blessings? How we can receive blessings? What was so special about Abraham that he could talk to angels and he become healthy, wealthy, and happy and become the father of the nations? So we're going to talk about a different aspect of blessing and what is blessing in our life. Well, how do you explain blessings, beracha in Hebrew? And we also in the book of Bereshit, the book of Genesis, so it's talking about the foundation of our universe, the foundation of our life. We're still learning how to build a new year, a better year for ourselves in this coming year, full of blessings. So I mentioned the stories of the Torah, and it's all going to be around the blessings. And there is a very interesting point in the Torah that we don't pay attention. Last week we studied about Abraham. Abraham didn't bless his children, didn't bless Isaac, didn't bless Ishmael. But this time around, Isaac, Yitzchak is blessing his children. And not only his blessing, the kids are fighting to receive the blessing from Yitzchak. So there is a issue here, there is a problem here. Abraham stands for the right column. He stands for the chesed, the kindness, the love, the purity. But then the Isaacs is the left column, stands for the negative side, stands for receiving, selfishness. So how come, Abraham didn't bless us, the blessed children, but in this portion we learn that Isaac blessing his children. So aren't we supposed to receive blessing from whoever is in charge of chesed, kindness, goodness, positivity? That's one of the reasons we study Kabbalah. There's an amazing lesson behind it. In Kabbalah, we know that the right column is giving, and the left column is receiving. In the Kabbalah language, they call it water. The right side is the water, the left side is the fire. We know the nature of water. Water comes down, and fire, it goes up. So one of the secrets that the Torah is trying to teach us is that the blessing we are after, the blessing we want, is not by receiving it. It doesn't come from Abraham. Abraham conscious, Abraham nature was giving with no restriction. So we are learning that we just don't receive blessings. It doesn't work this way. We have to do something. We have to work. We have to go through challenges. We have to go through difficulties, obstacles, in order to receive blessings. Blessing doesn't just come to us. Last class we said that all the blessing we want is within us. There is no blessing we are outside that we are waiting for. Whatever we want is within us. We just have to remove the layers of negativity, the selfishness, to purify ourselves, to ignite, to awaken the blessings within us that we are looking for. But today we're going to talk about a different aspect of these blessings, that we need to work. The system works that we're going to receive blessings from Isaac, from the negative side, from the dark side. Whoever that studied Kabbalah for many years knows that we said, light doesn't come out of light, light comes out of darkness. So, and another famous saying that you have to work hard. The famous sentence, the Farsi knowledge, however, says that you have to work hard in order to find the treasure. So the system of the universe, there is no free lunch, there is no free blessings. We all have a huge list, so much stuff that we want, soulmates and money and health, but this system shows us that it doesn't come for free, it doesn't come naturally. Abraham didn't bless us. Isaac is blessing us. And it's the blessing we are looking for is coming out of the challenges, the obstacles, the tikkun, the correction we have to do in our life. We always got used to it that we come and pray and we ask for things. Last week we learned just asking for things is even consider avodah zarah. It's considered worshipping other gods. So the blessings we are looking for is hidden within the challenges that we have individually. All of us. There is no one person on this planet that doesn't have a challenge, doesn't have an issue in his life, doesn't have an obstacle. Or in a different language, problem. Problem, the Kabbalists they explain, has the energy. Problem is nothing but the energy. But we have to learn how to turn that problem, that energy, from bad to positive. So whatever it is in our life is for our own growth. You want blessings in your life, you have to deal, you have to face that issue, that obstacle, that problem within our life. Please remind me about the 10 minutes.
1 moment.
So let's go back to the story of this week and the issue with blessings. Often we self-sabotage the blessings we have in our life. We destroy the blessings we have in our life. We don't appreciate the blessings, and we say, we cannot handle it. We call it sabotage our blessings. We have, good friends, good family, good business, or good fortune, but we cannot handle it. We don't have the vessel for it. So we end up destroying that blessing. We end up sabotaging that blessing. It's sometimes, we even say no to love. We cannot handle love. As much as love is good, because we cannot handle it, we say no to it. We run away from it. So how does it connect to this portion? That this Torah portion, we all know the story that one day Esau comes from the field and is tired and hungry, and he see Jacob is making a soup, and they trade between each other the soup and the firstborn right. That doesn't make sense, firstborn right and the soup. Who would trade such a thing? And what does it mean to be a firstborn? According to Kabbalah, firstborn is the extra energy. All the children, they have a certain amount of energy, but the firstborn has an extra energy. In the language of Kabbalah, we all have access to the lower seven Sefirot in a certain level of spirituality. And the firstborn, they also have the extra top three Sefirot. The firstborn, they also have the Keter Chokhmah Binah. They have intuition, they have extra wisdom, they have extra understanding, they have extra willpower, they have charisma. They're leaders, they're providers. So the first one is the extra energy. So what happened between Esav and Jacob? Esav says, I cannot handle these blessings. I cannot handle this extra energy. This extra energy is not for a selfish person. The extra energy is for somebody that's willing to give and share and help others. Esav was such a selfish person. He wanted everything for himself. What kindness, what love, what giving, what sharing, what going out of the comfort zone. So he was the firstborn and he had this extra power, extra energy, extra responsibility, but he didn't have the vessel to handle it. He didn't want it. The Zohar says he came to Jacob and says, take it away from me. It's not about Jacob cheating Esav. Esav came to Jacob and says, take it away from me. I don't want this extra responsibility and energy. Can you imagine that you have such a blessing and then you say, I don't want it, I cannot handle it? By being selfish, by run away from your responsibility, by thinking about yourself, your comfort, your needs. So that's the meaning of sabotaging your own blessings. We all have blessings, but we don't want to deal with it. We prefer to run away and to hide. We have reached the 10 minutes of the Facebook. You can watch the rest on eresculturalcenter.org or join the class. Thank you. So, in this Zohar portion, the student of Rabbi Shimon and his son come to Rabbi Shimon. He says, Yaakov was such an honest person, such a good person, so much love, so innocent, so giving. How can he steal something from his own brother? And Rabbi Shimon's response, he says, the famous sentence of Rabbi Shimon, he says, only a fool fall for the stories of the Torah. And this time around, we're going to take it even further. Only a fool fall for our own stories, for our own life, for other people's stories. If we take our life story or other people's stories literally, just the face value of it, we are fool. We have to see the story behind the story. We have to see the purpose. We have to look at the blessings, and if we are utilizing them, if we are using them, or we are running away from them, or we are hiding from those blessings. So Yaakov didn't steal the blessing, the firstborn. He actually, Esav gave it to him. He says, it's killing me. I cannot handle this responsibility. Esav was selfish, all to himself. He was a hunter. He was in a material world. What giving? What sharing? What going out of my comfort zone? Why being a leader of the family? He didn't want that. So he gave it away. So how come a too much blessing can kill? How come Esav, what's the Torah trying to teach us? Esav says, this blessing is killing me, take it away. In our life, does it too much money doesn't kill somebody? Too much money is blessing. But we know it can kill somebody because they cannot handle it, they don't have the vessel. A position that you cannot handle, does it kill us? It does. A fame, How many famous people we know that they become self-destructive because they cannot handle the fame? Also, somebody's genius in create something, but he end up hurting himself. So the answer is yes, absolutely yes. A blessing that we don't have the vessel for it can hurt us, can kill us. That's what the Torah is teaching us in this portion. So, what is the answer? How can we handle blessings? How can we, handle position, handle money, handle fame? So in this portion, Yaakov come to teach us how to build a vessel. We know Abraham is the right column, Isaac is the left column, and Yaakov is the central column. The right column is desire to give, and the left column is desire to receive. We learn that the world cannot exist with just giving. Abraham was all giving, but he went through 10 tests, and he had to learn how to bring judgment to his kindness. Because if it's all giving, if I'm nice, I'm tranquilo, and life is beautiful, and everything is nice, I'm full of love, there is no growth in it. There is no challenge in it. There is no transformation in it. That's why we don't receive blessing from Abraham. The Creator, I'm reminding you, in Bereshit says, I want you guys to be creators. I want you guys to be Elohim. I want you guys to create in this lifetime. Not to sit back and I'm all lovey-dovey and everything is beautiful. No. We have to go through challenges. We have to go through obstacles. We have to build. We have to break down. So, the Creator says you cannot have a world with just giving, and then you cannot have a world with just receiving. If I'm all selfish, I want everything for myself, then this world cannot exist. Then the Creator creates a central column that they call it desire to receive in order to share. So Yaakov comes and combines the two columns. We all have blessings in our life. We're asking for more blessings, but the tonight class is to have the vessel in order to handle the blessings. Like we said a few minutes ago, too much of even blessing can hurt us. What does it mean to have a vessel to handle blessings? It means two things: to resist and to be able to give, to share. What does it mean to resist? Very often, a blessing comes to us. They offer us a business opportunity. They offer us, love. They offer us friendship. They offer us something good. But our reactive nature says no to it. No, this business is too difficult for me. This business I have to maybe drive 1 hour a day. I'm going to miss my favorite TV show. Or as a friend, offer a friendship and love. But you know that you have to love back, you have to give something back, and it's too difficult for us. We are not trained, we were not brought up in a way to give love back. So, if somebody offers us love, he says, no, I cannot handle it. So, the formula is that because our own personal selfishness, we don't want to give, we don't want to share. So when the blessing comes to us, we push it away because it's too much work. We just learned a few minutes ago that the blessings doesn't come easily. It comes through challenges. It comes through hard work. It's coming out of your comfort zone. So if blessing comes to us in any shape or way, we have to change our attitude. in order for us to be able to receive it. Again, the central covenant column standing for resisting my stubbornness, my old-fashioned ways, my frame of thinking, frame of possibilities. You know, every day, can you turn the book around, please? Every day, you know, the blessing knocks on our doors in so many different ways. A phone call, an email. But because I have a set of mind, you know, if this guy calls me, I won't answer. If the email doesn't have the right language, I won't respond to it. I don't like this broker. I don't like this attitude. So, according to the Zohar, everything is blessing. Everything that comes to us is blessing. But because our wrong perception, because our limited perception, because our own set frame of perception, we reject. So in order to receive the blessings, we have to resist our nature. We have to give it a chance. Whatever comes to us, give it a chance. Resist my anger, resist my hate, resist my controlling, resist, you know, whatever personality I have, let the blessing comes in. That's how you build a vessel. That's how you build a vessel. And right away, you have to be a giver too, whatever comes to you, whatever comes to us. If it's a wisdom, we have to share it. If it's a financial sustenance, we have to share it. If it's love, we have to share it. If it's friendship, we have to share it. So the blessings, you know, come to us every day, all day. But we are the one that we have to change our action and behavior and consciousness to first of all see it as a blessing, and second of all give it a chance, build a vessel. Building a vessel means expanding your vision, expanding the possibilities, expanding the risk-taking. You know, if I'm stubborn and, you know, I want to do the same thing, I don't want any change, I don't want to improve myself, how are you going to let the blessings come in? You know, one of the most successful people that we know, they are risk takers. Why? Because they let it come in, they take a chance. If you say no to everything, then how the blessings going to come in? And the blessings takes a hard work. So, it's not Yaakov stole the firstborn right from Esau. Esau couldn't handle it, and he gave it to Jacob. If you look through your life, how many times we sabotage our own blessings and we give it to somebody else? It's too much work. I don't want to put the time. I don't want to invest. I don't want to come out of my comfort zone. I don't want to fly. I don't want to travel. I don't want to change myself. So, and there was very interesting wording in this portion. It's talking about stress. You know how we all hate stress and we don't want stress, and they said stress, oh, by the way, they said stress is the #1 killer. 2 minutes ago we talked about that, you know, the blessings that we cannot handle, it kills us, it hurts us. So stress is another form of energy that want to elevate us, that's pushing us, want us to move to the next level, want us to grow, to expand our horizon. But because we are lazy, that's our nature, we want to be comfortable, we don't want to change ourselves, we call it stress, and we're trying to avoid stress. According to the Kabbalist, stress is blessing. If you have stress at work, that means, you know, there is a room to grow. Maybe you have to hire employees, maybe you have to have a bigger location, maybe you have to expand yourself. So stress is another form, another energy that designed for us to grow. A stress-free person is on neutral. There is no growth, right? If you're totally stress-free, that means there is no growing in you. You're not creating anything. I'm sorry, but you're nobody. So somebody, is creating, growing, expanding, creating. I know it's stressful to come to the class, but it's amazing the wisdom that we learn here. You have to go through your day, you have your families, you have to deal with traffic, but look at the wisdom, look at the reward. So I want you guys to look at stress in a different angle from now. It's an energy, it's a power for us to grow. It's difficult, it's chaotic, it demands extra time and energy, but it's only for your growth. We have to understand we are not in this planet to have a good time. We are not here to kick back. We are not here to lay down by the pool. This is not our job here. We are here to grow. We are here to create. We are here to change. We are here to have an effect on ourselves and other people. There is nobody that has it easy. Honestly, everybody has a challenge because it's a blessing, because we are growing. We're only going to grow through the challenges. Remember, this lesson is a very powerful lesson. As a children of the forefathers, we didn't receive blessing from Abraham. We received blessing from Isaac. And that means that the blessing comes through Gevurah, in Kabbalah language, or Choser. We never receive blessing from Or Yashar, direct light. We only receive blessing from Or Choser, the returning light. And returning light, it means through challenges, through obstacles, through whatever correction and tikkun I have in my life, in our life. So we said that creating a vessel is to resist our nature, selfishness, and to be a giver. These blessings need a place to be stored, needs a vessel. We come and pray so much, so hard for blessings, and we ask people for blessings. Do we have the vessel to handle those blessings? We know many people for many years praying, and unfortunately the blessing don't come because there must be a vessel in order for the blessing to come. We all know hate and anger is bad. We come to few classes and then we give up and we go back to our old me, old us, and practicing the negative behavior, and we say, yeah, this class was not good for me. Kabbalah didn't do anything for me. I came few months and no result because we didn't build a vessel. Just listening to it is fine, but honestly, you have to build a vessel. Resist your nature and become a giver. Resisting in nature is not easy. It's very difficult. It's totally changing who you are. Every day we live with ourselves, with angers and hate and the controlling and the judging and the jealousy. Building a vessel is to giving up all those negative characters. And we prefer to run away. I don't want to change myself, I run away. So, in one hand we want blessings, in the other hand we don't want to do anything. We build a vessel for it. We run away from those responsibilities. So, one of the reasons we receive blessing from Isaac is, it's amazing language the Zohar uses. He says, somebody needs you in this world. There's someone out there that needs you. And that person we're going to help him either through friendship, through family, through our job, through our community, through our class. If we were supposed to receive blessing from Abraham, we will all be sitting home and enjoying, loving ourselves and loving others. No action, no creation. But it says somebody needs you out there. So we have to accept our responsibility, accept the challenges. Somebody needs you in a form of friendship, or we have to be part of the system by volunteering, by giving donation, by helping each other. So Esau says, I don't want this responsibility. I don't care about nobody. I just care about myself. Take away this responsibility from me. That's sabotaging your own blessing. So we have this huge list of so much we want, but we have to earn it. We have to build a vessel for it. You know, a few years ago I thought I don't have time for nothing. And it's so amazing, you know, we have time for so much. We have time for work, we have time for family, we have time for classes. Some of us, Baruch Hashem, become teachers even. So, in our limited perception, I don't have time. I'm too busy. Too busy with what? With selfish desires? So, if we make the time, if we make the effort to resist the selfishness and go out there and deal with whatever is in our plate, then that's how we're going to receive our blessings. The blessings is in expanding. Whatever we do, we have to expand it. You know, having a vessel, expanding your vessel is expanding what you do. You know, right now I walked to the Kenisa, I saw you wonderful people are fixing the Sidurim. It's amazing. You could have chat and you could have had coffee, but you choose to do something good with that 5 minutes that you had, or 1 hour, I'm sorry, maybe not 5 minutes. So expand your vessel. What else I can do? How can I resist my selfishness and give others? That's how we build a vessel. That's how I expand my vessel. We have to understand there is a formula between blessings and vessel. If my vessel can handle one blessing, then I'm going to receive one blessing. If my vessel can handle 10 blessings, then I can handle 10 blessings. If my vessel can handle thousands of blessings, then I'm going to receive thousands. There is no shortage in blessing this planet, in this world, but we are the one that don't have the vessel. We can do so much. We can volunteer, we can be a father, we can be a brother, a sister, we can be a member of the class, we can be a member of the Kenisa, we can volunteer, we can work, we can be good friends. And whatever is in your life, good or bad, is nothing but blessings. We just have to let it come in. So that was the first part of the portion about the blessing that the firstborn blessing. Are we clear? Any questions or comments, or we can move on to the next subject? Yes.
There is any difference for the firstborn boy or girl?
No, there is no difference. No. You know, in the Middle East, yes, in the Middle East, they you know, like a king must have a son to have a boy. It does make a difference as of their vessel, because men's are the light and women's are the vessel. But as a firstborn, they all have the same gift. They all have the first 3 Sefirot. We read it every morning in a tefillah. The first fruit is always very special. They call it holy. The first fruit of a womb of a woman is very special. The first fruit of the tree, they call it holy. Why holy? Because holiness is above the seven sephirot. This is the physical world. This is the spiritual world. That's why they call it holy. Yes.
In the Shacharit, in the Sephardic version of it, it implies that it must be a Zohar, v'lo nekeva. Mention that.
Yeah, there's a good explanation about it. You know, Zohar means to influence in a spiritual language. Don't fall for the stories. I'm going to remind you every class. Don't fall for our stories of life neither. In Hebrew, male means that you are a giver, you're influence, you are making a difference, you are a giver. And female in Kabbalah language means I'm a receiver. So when it says Zohar, it says in life I want to be a giver. I don't want to be only a receiver. Because by giving, we're expanding our vessel. Let's move on to the next story of the Torah this week, where Isaac want to bless Esav, and Rebecca comes and tell Jacob to go and get the blessing instead. You know, we talk about it so many years. I don't want to go through the stories. I'm sure you know the story. Before we move on, we go back to the old to the first lesson. I just saw a nice word here. It says, "Don't settle for less." You know, when it comes to blessing, don't settle for less. There is a huge blessing is around the corner. There is a huge blessing with these classes, with a good friend, you know, that you're avoiding. There is a huge blessing in the places I don't like to go or things I don't like to do. Don't settle for less. Because by saying, you know, it's too difficult and it's too late and it's too far and this friend, you know, I cannot handle this friendship, I have to give back. Don't settle for less. You are losing huge by settling for less, by not welcoming that blessings. So the next blessing, you know the story that Isaac want to bless Esav, and Rebecca, she hears it from behind the wall, and she go tell Jacob to prepare yourself and get the blessings. You are the one that's supposed to get the blessings. Let's get the story straight because there is so much misunderstanding. Can you imagine Isaac want to bless his son? He wouldn't invite everybody. He wouldn't throw a party. He wouldn't, you know, make a big deal out of it. Why he have to do it hush hush? Why Rebecca she have to hear it behind the door? Because, you know, because the question comes, why Isaac want to give the blessing to Esav, such a negative person? So he was trying to do it hush hush. He was trying to do it quietly. He knew something's wrong. He knew that Esav is the firstborn and he has affinity with him because they're both the left column, but he knew something is wrong. He knew something is not quite right. That's why he wanted to do it in a secret. That's why he didn't want anybody to know about it. And then Rebecca, she heard about it behind the door and she prepared Jacob. And also the story, again, the Zohar asks, Jacob is such a nice guy, such a sweet boy. I mean, by the way, the difference between the two stories is 7 years. When Esav traded his firstborn blessing with Jacob, they were 15 years old, and I have answer for your question. And when Jacob took the blessing of Esav, they were like 75 years old, over 7 years old. So there was a 60 years difference between the two stories. Last time you asked me, you know, how come
Yes.
Avraham died in the past portion, and this time around, Yaakov was cooking for his
Lentil soup.
grandfather's passing. The two portions are overlapping. So the last portion was about Avraham. It was talking about the life of Avraham and when it's ended. This portion is talking about Isaac and his children. So it's two different stories, but timing-wise, they are overlapping each other. So that's the answer for the question. She asked, how come, when the last portion Avraham died, Esau and Jacob were not born yet, but this time around he was cooking for his grandfather's passing because the stories are overlapping. But that's the portion was about Abraham, this portion is about Isaac.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who was Ishaq telling that he wants to give the blessing?
To Esau. He would tell him, Esau, go hunt for me, bring me food quietly. Nobody knew about it. Just Rebecca heard it from behind the door. So the question comes, Yaakov, such a good, nice person, studying Torah, spiritual, Kabbalist, how can he cheat his father? So when he goes to his mom, he says, I cannot cheat in the Torah. Rebecca says, your curse is going to be on me. So this is another story of the reincarnation. The Zohar explained to us that Jacob is the part of reincarnation of Adam, and Rebecca is part of reincarnation of Chava. Last time around, Chava deceived Adam by making him make a sin. This time around, Rebecca is correcting that sin. I know we also talk about Sarah correcting Chava. They are in 3 different levels. Sarah corrected the nefesh of Chava. Rebecca is correcting the ruach of Chava, and Rachel and Leah correcting the neshama of Chava.
Wow.
That's for advanced students. So this time around, he says the curse is on me because she have to do the correction, she have to do the tikkun. Again, it's blessings. Being a nice person all day long doesn't help us with corrections. Sometimes we have to, make a judgment call. Sometimes we have to make a change. Sometimes we have to do the right thing in order to do our tikkun. And the Zohar asks another question. Why? And all these years, all these 75 years, Isaac loved Esau. And Isaac neglected, Jacob. So the student of Rabbi Shimon says, how is it even possible? For 70 years he loved the negative son and he ignored the good son. The Zohar says because Jacob had to build a vessel. Receiving love and everything nice and dandy doesn't make you a strong person. Yaakov had to go through the disappointments of his dad. He had to go through not being recognized by his father in order to build a vessel, to be strong, to have strength. So, in general, the actual blessings we are looking for, because in the last classes we learned that the blessings are within us. So, what kind of blessings we are looking for? In morning prayers, there is a sentence. It says, "Ozer begevura." We are asking to be strong to go through our judgments. That's the blessings. That's the wish that we have and we should have. Give me the strength. Give me the power. Build a vessel to go through the judgments in my life. Whatever I want, everything you're looking for, the money and the position and the soulmate and the health and the children and the happiness, is by having a strength to go through our challenges. That's the bottom, the conclusion of this class is come down to that sentence. We all have challenges, but it's too difficult. We don't want to go through it. Through the years, I've seen many students, they come and Kabbalah is too difficult. Oh, I have to change so much about myself. I'm going to look for an easier solution. It doesn't work that way. The problem we have today is going to come tomorrow, next week, next year. It's not going to go away. So we want to have the strength to go through the challenges that we have in order to reveal the blessings that are hidden in it. Again and again, I'm reminding you, the blessings are on the left column. Through the judgments, through the difficulty, through the health issues, through business, financial challenges. We can't receive anything from the right column. Everything we receive is from the left column. So, Kabbalah tells you, stop with the hate, stop with the anger, stop with the stubbornness, change yourself. If we have the strength to go through this process, we're going to receive the blessings. If it's too difficult for me and I'm going to look for easier classes, I really wish for those problems to go away, but it won't unless we change our vessel. It's changing who we are. So, having a vessel in couple of other words is that we need to do it. We have to take a chance. Sometimes we have to let go. We have to forgive. We have to go away. We have to make the phone call. We have to go against our nature. This is some examples of building a vessel. Something comes to us difficult. Wow, there's such a blessings behind it. But we have a choice. Do we face the difficulty? Do we want to deal with it? Do we have the strength to deal with it? Or we rather to hide and run away from it? Again, I'm reminding everybody, this class subject is about receiving blessings. And it's through the difficulties, through the challenges. And if I don't want to deal with the difficulty, it won't go away. It won't go away. On the way here, something amazing came to my head. I was resisting not to share. We all know some spiritual families that we have this amazing blessing, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children. And what a blessing, what a bracha. Can you imagine, what's going on in their house on Shabbatot and holidays? So why they have such a blessing? And usually those families are calm. Those families are relaxed. There's not that many fights or challenges or difficulties. Because the parents could resist their anger, their controlling, their hate, their judgments. They could receive such a blessing. But in the other hand, families with smaller amount of children, it's too difficult, it's too much work. I don't want to give up my life. But it's just something to think about. When you're not selfish, the blessing comes. So, Yaakov didn't steal the blessing, it was his. And when Esau come back to Isaac and says, give me the blessings, Isaac said something very funny. He says, I can't. Why you cannot give blessings? What a difference make to Isaac to bless Jacob and to bless Esau? Because he realized, he recognized. He said he smelled the heaven. He recognized that Jacob was the right one. And he didn't want to give the blessing to Esau. So, what Esau achieved, in the 70 years, he had this affinity, he just loved him for no reason, but he realized he didn't build a vessel, he didn't achieve anything. He's a killer, he's a selfish person, he's a hunter, no spirituality, no wisdom, no Torah. And then he realized Yaakov, for 70 years he didn't love him, but he's still there. He built a vessel, he has understanding, he has wisdom, he studied the Torah. So it's put some light on the stories that usually don't make sense, but we have to, the same way with our life. Nothing about our life makes sense. The same things like the stories of the Torah. But we have to understand, we have to look at it in the right angle. We have to look at it through the Kabbalah and the Zohar to understand our life and other people's life. Let's read from the Zohar There are many good sections this time around, but we're going to go through it pretty fast. So we are in book number 4, page number 210. We are reading the section 78. Book number 4, page 210, section 78. We're reading this section with this kavanah, with this wish to expand our vessel and to search for the truth. One of the good things about Kabbalah and the Zohar, it tells us about the truth. It tells us the truth behind the story. We see how complicated and how misleading the stories of the Torah is. But when we look at it with the Kabbalah and the Zohar, it totally makes sense. The same thing about our life. If we know the truth about our life, everything is going to make sense to us. But we don't know the truth. We just see the illusion. That's why we are so confused and looks chaotic. So we're going to read this section that by the studying of the Torah, studying of the Zohar, studying of the Kabbalah, we could see the truth. Rabbi Berg said an amazing sentence this week. He says, we are so fooled by these stories. The stories of the Torah, again I mentioned, and then the stories of our life and other people's life. We are being fooled by this illusion. He says we have to demand the truth. We have to demand the truth about our life. I want to know my story. I want to know why I'm here. What's these obstacles in my life? What's these challenges? Who are these people in my life? Friends and family. So he said we have to demand the truth. We have the responsibility to demand the truth. The stories is misleading. The stories is going to bring us only chaos. And to demand the truth is through studying of the Kabbalah. How many of us throughout these years we start seeing the truth about our life and about other people's life? So with this reading, you're hoping, you're wishing, you have the kavanah to see the truth and to pray for everybody around us, family, friends, to change their negative and their selfishness and allow this truth to come to them so they can bring blessing to their life. So in section 78, אמר לון, בהדין שעתה אתון חייבים לקבלה מלכות, דהאמתן לפתגמי דעשו, ושיקרתון לפתגמי דיעקב, דהה קרא אזהד עלייה, ויעקב איש תם, וטוב כתיב תיתן אמת ליעקב, אלא כך הוא ענניה ויעקב עם עשיו, בגין דעשיו הובה שנא לבחוריתה בקדמתה, והווה באי מניה דיעקב, דלספה ליה אפילו בלא כסף, ההוד ויאכל וישת ויקום וילך, ויבז עשיו את הבכורה. In the earlier section, the student of Rabbi Shimon asked him, the same question we said earlier. How come Yaakov, such an innocent person, did such a move? And Rabbi Shimon responded, now you deserve a whipping, because you believe Esav and laid about Yaakov's words. And the scripture bears witness that Jacob was a plain man, which means that he cannot cheat. Also it is written, you shall show truth to Jacob. This was the situation concerning Jacob and Esav. Even before Esav detested his birthright and he asked Jacob to take the birthright without payment. He says, take away, I don't want it. Thus it is written, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way, thus Esav, despite the birthright. So Rabbi Shimon tells in his students, you need whipping because you fall for the illusion of this world. You have to understand the truth behind it. It's not Jacob stole it, it's Esav couldn't handle the blessing and he wanted to give it away. Let's read another section. We are in page 214, the English part on the second paragraph. I love that section. So I want to share it with you guys. It's in English only. It starts with a child. So page 214, the second paragraph in English. The Zohar explains, a child learns to walk by falling down and standing up again, measured against a lifetime of walking. Can you imagine? Look what the Zohar says. It says a child learns to walk only by falling down. But after he learned how to walk, he received a lifetime of blessing of walking. So we have few obstacles in our life. You know, we fall down, we have some difficulties, some challenges, some business, health, friendship issues. Are we going to fall down and stay down? Angry and hateful and judging and running away and depressed? Or are we going to stand up and walk again? If you decide to stay down, you know, you're down for the rest of the life. But if you decide to stand up and learn how to walk, you receive a lifetime blessing of walking. Are we good? Are we on the same page? We get it here? Okay. So measured against a lifetime of walking, this period of continual stumbling is relatively short. Similarly, the hardship and affliction in our life and learning opportunities. He says the falling down and the stumbling is a very short time compared to a lifetime of happiness and blessing. You go through the challenge, you go through the changing yourself, you build a vessel, but you're going to receive a lifetime of blessing. They are sent to us to help us learn to walk in the ways of the Creator. When we understand our afflictions in these ways, their duration is brief compared to a lifetime of spiritual fulfillment. So, tomorrow, tonight, next week, when a challenge comes to you, a bad email, a bad phone call, a lost friend, you say, oh, that's stumbling that I'm learning how to walk. If I'm going to learn from that negative, in my perception, negative situation, I'm going to receive a lifetime of blessing. And he says it's very brief. And it's sent to you by the Creator. It's not the negative guy, it's not the crazy uncle. It's this Creator sent that person to you. Conversely, when life appears strangely calm and pleaded, the Creator may be delaying judgment against us for self-centered behavior. We should be wary of our consciousness to the light during these moments and begin to reflect with humility and repentance. Wow, this is such a powerful sentence. He says when your life looks too calm, when we hide ourselves from so many people, from so many situations, when I'm hiding and my life looks calm, the Zohar says the most dangerous time is the most chaotic time. You have to make a teshuvah right away. You have to change your behavior. You know, we said that many times in these classes. You know, the challenges is out of the kindness and love of the Creator. If everything is calm, if you're so selfish that everything is calm and relaxed around us, he says there is a big judgment on the way. There is a saying, and it's funny, but it's not a joke. If somebody says, I don't have no problems in my life, everything is beautiful, my job, my health, my life, he says right away, gather 10 people and pray for him. He's in a great danger. Because there is no person with no challenge in his life because it's out of the blessing of the Creator for us. Calm is not necessarily is good. Yeah, Shabbat is calm, Chagim is calm. But any other day we have to work on ourselves to build a vessel. There was another beautiful section in the Zohar I wanted to share with you guys. Let's go to, when you study the Zohar at home, pay attention to the English parts. It's very, very good explanation. Let's go to page 188. On the English part on the top, It's talking about the combining of the attribute of mercy and judgment. It's talking about the role of Yaakov. This week we are studying about Yaakov. Are we within the 1 hour or?
Almost.
Okay. Let's read this section and we're done with the class. We want to connect to the energy of Yaakov. We want to, for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be with Yaakov. Yaakov is energy of resistance, as we learn, resistance to our negative consciousness and behavior, and to share. And this section explains what Yaakov is. So we are in the English part where it starts the rabbis on the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th sentence. It says the rabbis also discuss the role of the evil inclination, explaining how these two derives from the Creator. They describe how evil is placed in the human heart, discuss its formability, enduring nature, and explain its role in reproduction. The creation of the evil inclination actually denotes the creation of the desire to receive. Here we go. The desire to receive is a vital and necessary component in a man. For without it, the Creator cannot share His infinite beneficiaries. There must be a willing recipient in order for sharing to take place. The angel Satan, however, manipulates this virtual desire to receive into desire to receive for the self alone. This additional aspect of receiving in a selfish manner is the root of all evil. Man's spiritual work is to negate the Satan influence and to express our desire to receive through sharing. What's explaining that in this world there is giving and there is receiving. Receiving is wonderful. The Creator wants us to receive. But when we receive for the selfish reason only, then it's become evil. When we receive for the purpose of sharing, then this is what we are. This is our job is. So, to receive is wonderful, but to receive to share. Receive love, kindness, friendship, money, position, title. Anything we receive is wonderful, but right away we have to switch it from being selfish to share. So I think we reached the 1 hour. Thank you very much. Have a good Thanksgiving next week. We're going to see you the week after. Thank you very much.